Please tell us your name and a little bit about your role.
Marlene Street Forrest, Managing Director, Jamaica Stock Exchange. And I have been with the exchange for 22 years. And my role is to ensure that the exchange is managed in an atmosphere of transparency, fairness, and to encourage people to invest, to look at wealth creation and invest in the stock exchange. Obviously, technology is going to drive that process, and my role is to ensure that we adapt the best technology to deliver the sort of services that people are expecting.
So, how does your relationship with Nasdaq enable you to drive forward meaningful change?
The relationship with Nasdaq is very important because one of the things that one has to do is build confidence in the market. And that confidence comes with a reliable platform, reliable technology to drive transparency in the market. One does not want to have a platform where, the person start to doubt what goes on across it. And we have engaged with Nasdaq in respect to both the matching engine and surveillance. Surveillance was very important to us, especially as we try to encourage more persons and the younger generation to invest in the market. The other thing is scalability. We want to ensure that where we want to go as a global exchange, we are in Jamaica, but at the same time our aspirations is global. And so we wanted to ensure that we had a partner that would allow us to grow while we do what we do best in terms of maintaining the market. And I think we found a partner in Nasdaq.
So the Technology of the Future conference started more than 20 years ago.
Yes.
If you could look back at the people who were originally at that conference, what do you think, what aspects of today's markets do you think would surprise that group the most?
I think the group would be surprised about almost everything. 20 years ago, the market was more manually driven. The excitement of slips on the floor, etc. There was not so much reliance on computers. Today, we have that there is technology. Everything is behind, almost silent, but it is happening. The crunching of numbers, crunching of data, the less touching, more intervention, non-intervention of the person up front. So I think that people would not have expected to see more focus on getting also products and platforms that drive those products. Definitely not. People would not expect to see that there is so much focus on cloud computing, there's so much focus on having technology in the cloud, data, hard data being just processed as quickly as they do now, because everything is at a rapid speed. So I don't think that 20 years ago, persons there could have imagined what is happening now. Definitely not.
And continuing right with that 20 years into the future, what areas of growth do you think will have changed the most?
Well, there's so much focus now on blockchain, decentralization of the technology, etc. And I think that 20 years time, you will have more of that. There's talk about the metaverse. There's talk about so many other things that really we do not understand half of it now. The focus is also on ESG and how technology can be used for that. But I think the greatest is that of data and data management in all its form. And I think without technology and how it is going to scale to allow for that, that is where we are going to see most of our focus 20 years from now. How it is going to look, how it is going to end up looking for platforms, different products from Nasdaq or otherwise, that is left to be seen. But that's what I think is going to happen 10, 20 years from now.
Is there advice that you might be able to offer to those future generations of tech leaders?
Yes, the advice is, because when you look back 20 years, there are many persons would have been leaders and also laggards. And persons who would not be on the train of innovation and doubt that certain things could happen. And I think that when you talk about technology, you have to have an open mind, understanding that everything is not going to fall in place at the same time, understanding that regulations will catch up with some of these technology. But the major thing is embrace it. The younger people are there also, and the imagination, just expect to just imagine. Just be wild about the imagination. Obviously, you have to temper it with wisdom, but be there to say, if you can think it, it might happen. Yes, and allow the process to take its place. Don't stand in the way of progress. Don't stand in the way of technology. That's my advice.
So, like you said, it's about imagining and reimagining.
Yes.
That's the theme of this conference, reimagining tomorrow's market. So,
Yeah.
in what ways does Nasdaq's technology enable that?
I think what Nasdaq technology is certainly scalable, and what, just from our experience, what we have found is that in listening to our customers, our clients, and we come back to Nasdaq, we can see that they have embraced some of the changes that people are asking for. So the technology, I think, is fluid, is scalable, and obviously, as their conference say about reimagining, I think that the Nasdaq is doing that. And as a result of that, the partnership with us and which is the JSE and Nasdaq, seem to be one that we can grow. We can grow with Nasdaq because obviously they listen to what the market is saying. And even where we are looking at changes, we can see that many of those changes are already within the grasp, and they are doing it. So it's a good partnership.